shit. I have my light on. Just in case. What's good? What is good? What is good? If you are here, hello, hi, howdy, and how are you? It is a damn. Cats on the East Coast may not even be up right now for this, or they're trick or treating, walking their parent or walking their children, things of that nature. It is 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. I decided to jump on a live just because I'm not doing much. I was gonna go out to for Halloween. I decided probably not gonna go out for Halloween, which is pretty lame, you know. I'm pretty boring hermit kind of dude, but decided fucking I am probably just going to chill at the crib, watch some tape for the rest of the night because there's one fight that I really wanted to tape that I didn't really have a time to jump into this week. I got cooked yesterday. Had two pretty decent calls here with I had some decent reads, but just got cooked, man. I've been getting cooked lately. I need to reconfigure either how I do my tape or how I break down my betting. I need to consult with some sharper people. Boxing fan, my brother, salute. I hope you had a great Halloween with your family. I saw you got the Iron Mask on. If you guys are in, say what up. Let me know you're here. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, any MMA or boxing talk you want to talk about. Just if you want to chop it up in general, like the video if you can. My apologies to everybody on my overall lack of content lately. As you guys know, I'm a full-time worker, part-time student. Still try to make my time for my social life as I'm in my 20s. Before my 20s go away, of course, plus all the tape. I'm still taping, so I have a bunch of reads for this weekend. If you guys have any curiosity on any of my reads, I'm going to give them out throughout the video anyways. So yeah, I still been taping, just been mad busy. So my apologies on the lack of prediction and breakdown videos. I promise you guys, I promise you on my brother's soul, November will be popping. I will make sure I drop a solid amount of videos for you guys, starting with Tiger Johnson versus Nick Flaz. I'll no doubt be breaking down Tiger Johnson, Nick Flaz. I'm really intrigued by that fight, and I'm just excited to watch tape on that fight just in general. I'll be breaking down Norman Haney, which I already have the tape on. Nathan, hope you're doing well, my brother. Hope you're doing well. I'll be doing Norman Haney, Nick Flaz, Tiger Johnson, Benavidez Yard, which unfortunately, Benavidez Yard is one of those tapes that I'm going to have to try to break my bias going into because I have a really strong read on how that fight's going to go before the tape. Arizona boy here, born and raised. Really decent read on David Benavidez. You know, he's from the neighboring. So I'm from Glendale, Arizona. He's from Maryville. It's literally the neighboring cities, the neighboring barrios. So I'm a big David Benavidez guy. And I think Anthony Yard just lacks gears. He lacks late round cardio. I think this is going to be David Benavidez's first stoppage at light heavyweight. So that's a fight that I have pretty good read on pre-tape specifically, but I'm still going to drop an actual preview and breakdown for it. So we got Norman Haney, Tiger Johnson, Flaz, David Benavidez. There's a bunch of Japanese fights that I'm going to have to break down. I will not be missing out on breaking down Japanese fights. That's where I started this channel, was breaking down smaller fights, and that is where I hope to end this channel, is breaking down smaller fights. So again, my apologies on everybody that's here for my lack of content. I will be a lot better about it. But the biggest thing is I can't let my grades drop. I can't let, just in general, I can't let my life, my life go away. I still have if you can hear my dog chewing on his ball right now, I still got to make sure my pup's good. Got to make sure that I don't lose my job. So I have a house and roof over my head. We're all adults still. So everyone understands. That's enough ranting of that. Hope you guys are all fucking killing it. But yeah, Tiger, Nick Flaz. Thank you, boxing fan. I'm so excited for that fight. I think Tiger Johnson, Nick Flaz is a great scrap. I'm gonna look up this box. One sec. If I have my notes in my backpack, give me one sec. So I have the schedule. I have my schedule written down in my coverage, actually. So I actually did this one smart. I wrote down my whole schedule coverage. So these are all the fights. I don't know why I'm trying to go off the top of my head. These are all the fights that I will be breaking down in the upcoming future. And the goal is to get as many of them. That's tape. Let me go to the fight coverage schedule. Fight coverage schedule. Tiger Johnson, Nick Flaz. Ortiz Lubin, of course. Gary Antoine Russell versus Andy Hiroka. Norman Haney. I got to check that one off because I've already done the tape on that one. Bam versus Puna. Mason versus Noakes. Bene versus Yards. Kind of a half check on it because I have a pretty decent lean. Oh, my God. I love that. Nakana versus Reese Aleem. God, I love that fight. Mikino Okana versus Reese Aleem. Love that fight. You got Beatrice Ferreira versus Elif Nur Tehran. Thankfully, I can do brush up tape on Elif Nur Tehran just because we have plenty of breakdowns on her specifically. Nicholson versus Avila. Of course, Inoue Picasso and Nakatani versus Reyes. So if there's any fights that you guys, if you guys specifically have any fights that I didn't just name, let me know. Tiger Johnson Flaz, Ortiz Lubin, Gary Antoine Russell Hiroka, Norman Haney, Bam Puma, Mason Noakes, Ben Ayard, Makano Aleem, Ferreira, Elif Nur Tehran, Nicholson Avila, Inoue Picasso, and Nakatani Reyes. So those are all the fights I'm doing. If you have any other suggestions on fights, let me know. I have tape done for 2 of those. I plan on dropping Norman Haney by the end of the weekend just because I'm excited for that fight. I would like, Tension versus Inoue. That's a great one. Kiza, what's up, my brother? Hope you're doing well. Sorry, guys. Stuffed up as hell. But like I said, I was going to go out for Halloween tonight, but I'm just going to stay in. I'm going to do some tape. I'm going to chill. Pretty lame. I should really go out and do something, but I don't really got much to say. Love watching Tension, man. Best kickboxer I've ever seen. Dude, he's just a great combat sports athlete. To do what he did in kickboxing, then to come over to boxing and do what he's already doing. Dude, high-level resume already, in my personal opinion. So, Nathan, boxing fan and Kiza, my boys are in the crib. We got my boy Nathan. What is the top fans? That's what the crown means. I was like, what do these crowns mean, man? I swear, bro, you would think I'm old just because the way I don't know how YouTube works. I think Buatsi finishes Parker between rounds 9 and 12. So I think that fight could be a staring contest. I think there's going to be a lot of moments where that fight could possibly become a staring contest. I hate watching Joshua Buatsi fight, man. I don't know what it is about Joshua Buatsi. He's just had so many performances that I consider almost negative. Like, I don't know what it is. I can definitely see, though, I will say this. This is my personal opinion on this. If Buatsi doesn't finish Parker, not win, he has to finish Parker, in my personal opinion, to assert himself, really to assert himself back in a conversation of being at a, because I guess Buatsi, if you want to consider it, has fought in quote unquote at a world level, but has he himself ever been considered world level himself? That's the real question. Personally, I don't know if I would have ever considered Joshua Buatsi world level. So what do you guys think about that opinion here? Do you guys think Joshua Buatsi himself is like a world level, world class kind of fighter here? Because if you ask me here, Willie Hutchinson fight, split decision. I think he beat Willie Hutchinson. I don't really think that should have been a quote unquote split decision here. But remember the Dan Aziz fight? And like Dan Aziz, I guess, is a little bit better than we think here. But the Dan Aziz fight was such a lackluster, like boring ass fight. Was that weird fight too that was outside in like the sunlight? I think that shit was like outside in the sunlight, if I'm not specific. And I don't think Zach Parker is necessarily great, man, but I also don't think Zach Parker is horrible. John Ryder at his point was pretty good. Yeah, he got dropped against Tyrone Zueg if you go and watch the tape here, but it wasn't like a hard dropping. It was more of a flash knockdown specifically. His performance against Diallo was, it was okay, but at least he threw out some volume and pace and pressure there. It seemed like he put his foot on the gas. As compared to, I think, Buatsi lacks gears. I think that's a big thing where Buatsi lacks the gears. So I think this fight is a little bit closer than the line indicates. And here's the thing. If you're betting Buatsi about stoppage, I don't think it's a bad play, especially if you're betting it round props, because I love round props. But, dude, Buatsi is just so lackluster to me, man. So lackluster. Doesn't love to go through the gears. Just something about Buatsi that I've never loved. And to trust him by knockout, By the way, boxing fan, my brother, I will absolutely be hitting you up, too. I'll be hitting you up and DM you about the round robin, too, specifically as well. I don't know if you know this, man. I'm not I don't do parlays. I don't like doing multiple legs. Every time I do it, bites me in the ass. Bites me in the ass, man. Like I see people, everyone has their own betting strategy, and that's what I like about gambling communities and beyond just the boxing community. I think when you're looking at it strategically, you have people that put big money on big money favorites. They'll get 3 or 4 big money favorites to make an even money parlay. And this is to anyone that does that, I don't think that takes any skill. I don't think it takes any skill to throw. I'm trying to think of like big money favorites. Like, I don't think it takes any skill to throw Shakir Stevenson versus William Cepeda on a parlay with, Michaela Meyer that we saw yesterday and be like, damn, I hit that. Bang. Like I told y'all, it's like, that doesn't really take skill. Like me, I like the gambling aspect, and which is dumb as hell because it is about making money. I kind of like it from a skill perspective. I kind of like it breaking down the tape and see if I can find the round props. That's why I like what Nathan's talking about here in the 9 through 12. So round robins for me are better than parlays, clearly, right? Round robins would say that tail robins or more would get cooked. If I may ask, brother, do you do big odds on these round robins, or do you do them like regular parlays with a bunch of minus 900s, minus 400s, minus 300s? Like, there are strategies. So, like, I like how my boy Johnny does his what's it called? The MOV method of victory parlays. I like those where he finds 2 decent money odds and makes a plus money for just 2 legs. Like I like those kind of parlays. I think that's a good strategy here. But when you do the round robins, brother, do you do like big money odds, if I may? Do you get what I'm saying? Like each leg's a plus 500, plus 400, plus 600, or are they all more so even money, close to even monies, or bigger monies like minus 400s, minus 500, minus 600s? Let me know like about that, like how those leg strategies for you too as well. I also like round props. So again, my betting strategy mostly comes down to round props, over unders, and finding mostly even monies. So because tomorrow, man, I'm actually kind of curious. Maybe we should work out a strategy and work out a round robin together. How about we work out a round robin together, dog? All the boys get together and we work out a round robin getting down. I try to keep my scope realistic. See, that's always, in the end of the day, that's always smart. Look at what I did yesterday. Dumb as hell. I took Unal and Rolfs to go the distance. Straight up dog chasing, as PJ would call it. Our boy, shout out our boy PJ. Straight up dog chasing. That was a dumb play. Like, when I sit back and look at it in hindsight, man, like, that wasn't a great play, man. In Canada, I should have known Unal was going to come out and starch this guy. So that was a bad play. I didn't keep it realistic in my scope. I was dog chasing and just trying a little bit too hard, trying to reach a little bit too much here for you. And that's where my betting strategy bites me in the ass and why I also hate parlays. Because if I would have taken just Matthews by decision at plus money at a good number, I'd have been happy because I would have put a unit or 2 on that. Then I would only put a half unit on the other one, not to go the distance. And then I could have put in, what was the other play? And I also Christopher, shout out my boy Guru for the Christopher fight to go the distance too as well. But I'll hit you up, boxing fans, so we can put together a round robin for tomorrow together, actually. So I think tomorrow, so let's talk about the fights tomorrow, guys. Let's actually talk about the fights tomorrow here. If you guys don't have a chance to, if you guys can like the video, if you haven't liked the video, if you guys are in the community and, aren't in like the Johnny Says Boxing Discord, shout out to my boy Boxing Fan and Kiza, who I met through the Discord. They've always kind of been jumping on my YouTubes and things of that nature, but it's nice to chop it up with them. Is just like on a human interaction too as well. Nathan, I don't know if you're in the Discord or not, but I do be seeing you. I'm assuming because the boys are all saluting each other. So salute to everybody just in general, man. Love the community, bro. Fucking love the community. If we could predict the future, life would be boring. It's all about the thrill and the chase. That's 100%, bro. Like, boxing is, in my opinion, the greatest fight of swings of momentum. Like, isn't it just that's the greatest game of swings of momentum as compared to like ball and stick sports. You know what the score is. You know how it's loading. You know how it's building. I need to score 10 points to make it back. As compared, it's all one punch, one shift in an angle, one bad decision to drop a hand in a guard in an exchange, and it just shifts completely. Like when it comes to boxing, that's also why MMA is the hardest sport to bet on, in my personal opinion, just because MMA has so many damn variances. You have someone that's super incredible, super crafty, checks a leg kick, and their leg breaks from a leg kick and check. It's just absolutely insane. Kind of going back to what I was saying about revamping my betting strategy, not only just the strategy, but also my tape study, is I think I also need to get more comfortable with just taking winners. I think I need to get more comfortable with the idea of, dude, even if they are a big money favorite, I have to get comfortable with the idea of putting those two together to make a decent money odd and just taking it. It's just the idea of that's never settled with me, right? So I'm just trying to revamp all strategies in general, right? Because it went from being really hot to, I don't want to say I'm really cold, but I'm at a plateau to where I'm not gaining units and I'm not losing units. But for me, it's all about the gaining units and the steady greens. I want to give out good prediction for you guys, and I don't feel like the predictions I've been giving out have been that great. I just, just purely based on the results, they have not been that great. Let's go look back in all transparency and honesty of what I've given out lately so far. My last prediction, I gave out Wardley money line. Okay, possibly a banana peel win, even though I thought that fight was a little bit closer maybe than the scorecards indicated. But he needed a knockdown to, at minimum, win the fight, and he needed to win those last 2 rounds to get a draw, which it looked like he could have been on his way to a draw. I gave out Chloe Watson money line, which in my prediction, it may have sounded like I was leaning Shannon Ryan, but the money led me to Chloe Watson. So bad prediction there then in that case. Before that, I gave out Dave Allen over Makhmudov. That's possibly one of the worst predictions that I've given out. Easily one of the worst predictions I've given out in a while, just because of how the fight went. Not as bad as Yankel Rivera a long time ago, but. And then before that, I gave out Guido over Alexis Barriere, which ended up being a good prediction. But the fight before that, I gave out Boots under 7 or over, 7.5. So on a 2 and 3 stretch over my last 5, I think that brings my total prediction numbers to like 13 and 10 and 1, something like that. All the even money to all the way up to the draw with plus 1600 with Lester Mabili. So we're definitely profiting in the ROI in the sense of pure predictions, but I would like to sharpen that up. I would like to get better for everybody, quite frankly. So I would like to sharpen up my tape study. I would like to sharpen up my bets. I just would like to be better for the boys. That's why I have not started any sort of paid service or Discord or Patreon yet. Is I just really want to sharpen up my strategy. I want to sharpen up my eyes. I want to sharpen up my tape, and I want to give my full focus to subscribers and people when I eventually get to that point. So it's not going to be anytime soon, man. I just need to keep grinding, keep toasting. Thanks for letting me rant, y'all. So I got Liam Cameron by decision plus 118. You can actually get him at plus 220 on ESPN Bet. Or it was 210, I'm sorry. Plus 210 ESPN Bet. That's exactly what I played. He's also an underdog plus 100 DraftKings on the money line. Nathan, me and you are in the same book. Let me tell you a few things about Liam Cameron versus Troy Jones. We did in the Johnny Says Boxing Discord a nice little film study together on Liam Cameron. I wish we would have taped his Troy Jones together, but I fell asleep. I'm not even going to lie. Troy Jones, he's okay. He's okay. I don't like his feet. I don't like that he's so susceptible to getting his backs turned against the ropes, where I think Liam Cameron does his best work. And Troy Jones, in my opinion, struggles with domestic level fighters. He allows people to get off to the body. And what is Liam Cameron's best punch? Liam Cameron's best punch by a country mile, it's not even close, is his left hook to the body. His left hand to the body, whether it's a left hook or a shovel variation, is by a country mile. Doesn't matter what tape you put on, always going to be his best punch, always has been his best punch. Liam Cameron is someone that I've never really been overly high on. The Lyndon Arthur fight, I felt like he allowed Lyndon Arthur to win that fight. He allowed Lyndon Arthur to pull away in the later rounds as compared to him losing that fight. I felt the Ben Whitaker fight wasn't as good a performance when you watch it in hindsight. I actually had him down 3 rounds to 0 heading into the 4th against Ben Whitaker. But the thing about Liam Cameron is he's now hired a dietitian, now hired a nutritionist, and all of these things to where the weaknesses of Jones match up to the strengths of Liam Cameron. And if Liam Cameron puts on a little bit more volume, a little bit more activity, and shows a little bit better cardio, I think this is an extremely winnable fight for him. I think he can definitely eke out 6 rounds, and I think he can no doubt win. I think he can definitely eke out 6 rounds and possibly win more rounds than that. So, yeah, I actually really, me and you, Nathan, are on the same exact page. I really like Liam Cameron in this fight too as well. But add in all those small little factors of him hiring a nutritionist. I don't know if people really care about that as much as I do. To me, it all means something because it goes to show that he could possibly go through those extra gears. Maybe the weight cut won't be as hard. It shows that he's taking his career seriously. And I think he literally said, I like this money. I like these sponsors. I don't want them taken away. So I think he's still pretty damn hungry, man. I think he's still pretty damn hungry. Yeah, I'm not overly high on Troy Jones personally. Domestic level fight. I know a lot of people don't really love betting on domestic level fights, but I don't mind it just because I think there's a lot of money to be made here. I think this card actually has a lot of good money to be made. I think if people were to take a stab at Zach Parker, I wouldn't be mad at them. People taking, and just so you know, bro, I think Bawatsi Parker is a 10-round fight. I'm almost positive it's a 10-round fight. They say that it's for the European. I'm almost positive because even the WBA have been doing these international title fights or whatever as 10 rounders. So I'm pretty sure it's a 10-round fight. So I don't know if your book may have hoed you there or not, but I'm almost positive it's a 10-round fight. Could be wrong. We're going to have to see tomorrow. Bradley Rea versus Lyndon Arthur. A lot of people are on Lyndon Arthur, man. A lot of people are on Lyndon Arthur. And if you are, God bless you. God bless you. Not for the fact that I'm on Bradley Rea or I'm that high on Bradley Rea, but have you guys watched Lyndon Arthur fight? Watching Lyndon Arthur fight it's an experience, man. He puts himself to the ropes. He allows himself to try. I think he's more, slick on catching and shooting. Why did he allow Liam Cameron to bully him around the ring for the first 6 rounds? On top of that, too, as well, with Lyndon Arthur is he's low volume. He's just so willing to fight behind purely a jab, like purely just a jab. And I feel like people love him so much just on the fact that he went and lost every single round, by the way, and got dropped in the 11th round, by the way. Was it the 11th or the 10th round against Bivol? People love him just for that. And then you even saw against Anthony Yard, like where everyone's like, it was close against Anthony Yard. I mean, I guess I'm glad I took Anthony Yard, by the way, by decision, like plus 380 that fight, like some crazy number. It was absolutely insane. So if you're betting on Lyndon Arthur tomorrow, God bless you. God bless you. I would rather take the guy with fresher legs, the younger fighter, the guy that I'm going to trust is going to go through the gears in the 12-round fights. Everyone was bringing up about Bradley Rea. Was it the Pitters fight specifically? And honestly, Pitters is a tricky matchup stylistically, man. He's long, he's lengthy, he puts up weird kind of volume, shovel hooks and weird angles, kind of slips in that weird work. Hits a little bit heavier than I think his own record even gives him a little bit credit for. And even before, Bradley Rea has never been 12 rounds before that and fought a bunch of cans, but even at a slightly higher level. And I think people forget, didn't Bradley Rea take that fight on short notice? Wasn't Pitter supposed to fight like Dos Anjos or Dos Reyes or whatever? I'm almost positive that Bradley Reyes also took that fight on short notice, or was a short switch of opponents too as well. So, yeah, if you're betting on Lyndon Arthur, man, God bless you. And it's not because I don't think Lyndon Arthur can't win. What version of Lyndon Arthur do you get? And at best, the best version of Lyndon Arthur is still going to make this fight close. And I have a problem with that. You could get a version of Lyndon Arthur that literally keeps his ass on the ropes and just allows us to lose him on volume. So those are just a few things to take into consideration here for you before you bet on these kind of fights. There's one more fight that I was curious about this card too as well. Oh my God. Oh, that water was amazing, guys. I already said I like Liam Cameron. I'm not betting Rea versus Arthur. I'll be watching that live just to kind of see how I think it goes. But according to BoxRec, the win probability, and I don't know if that's assuming to like, I'm assuming that's due to like fan vote, is 68% to 29%. So a lot of people highly favor Lyndon Arthur to get this one done. So I think that's pretty interesting if you ask me. Troy Jones is favored 66% to 30%, which I also find very interesting. And then you have Bawatsi Parker, 55 to 40%. How are these numbers skewed? I want to know. I want to know these random ass skewed numbers. Billy Dennis versus Urza. Eric, I have not seen any tape on either one of these fighters. I've actually seen Billy Dennis fight his Ellison fight specifically, I believe it was. He was on the undercard of somebody's fight. I think it was I don't remember what card it was, but that's the only one that I can remember. Everyone else, I really don't know, and there's not too much money on. I actually did watch a little bit of tape here on Jordan Thompson, too, as well. He's long. Shout out my boy Kiza for actually bringing this up here for you, too, as well. Jordan Thompson here for you. You could fight on Daily Motion, the Luke Watkins fight, and you can also find his fight against Mariano Guadino. The Mariano Guadino fight, he just fought really long, kept trying to pull Guadino into a rear uppercut in the backhand specifically, and he eventually did it pretty successfully. He likes to fight outside and likes to fight very long from what I've seen. Has a little bit of pop to him from like an outside fighter. And then we know with the Perro brothers too, as well, is they're both pretty damn technical here. But the one thing about Lanier Perro is I think he's just so willing to brawl. I think he's so willing to get inside and engage in these firefights. And I think that's the issue is he's gonna try to find, as compared to fighting slick and stylish and like a Cuban kind of style, right? He's gonna try to be so willing to get in the inside and kind of take this one little type of fight. I think personally that a stab on Jordan Thompson's not the worst play. Money has been coming in on him. Jordan Thompson, you could have got him at like over a plus 400. If I'm not mistaken, he's down to like a plus 300 right now. So I think there is a little bit of a chance of a Jordan Thompson upset here. I think there is definitely a good play. I think the fight goes through the distance at a high clip. I think Thompson's tough enough, gritty enough. I think in the terms of, there's also something to be said. I don't think that a lot of people talking about too as well. If you think Thompson wins, I don't know if he finishes Perro. And there's something about a fighter having to learn how to lose, right? Like they ever talk about that for undefeated fighters, a fighter having to learn how to lose. I think Arthur survives the bell. He did manage to hang in there against Bivol. I agree. But age, this is one thing everyone brings up, how fighters survive and manage. And Bivol has never been a huge puncher. Bivol has never been a huge puncher, even though he is truly world class, pound for pound fighter, right? The one thing is age and damage catch up to you. And Arthur didn't take a world of damage, but he took a decent amount of damage against Yard. Didn't take that much against Liam Cameron. And he only fights really once a year. There's only going to be a second time fighting in twice in a year since 2022. So he hasn't fought in twice in 2023 or 2024. So these are all things to take consideration. Rhea by decision on DK plus 100. That's exactly how I played this fight too, by the way, Nathan. If I were going to play Bradley Rhea, it would be by decision, and I would take the plus odds. Ben Whitaker fought Urza. I think they went the distance. Is that, I've actually seen this in this case here for you. Someone I was listening to, I think it was Gary I was listening to. That's, bro. That's that one kid that had that crazy ass fight kid against Ben Whitaker. Okay, I know exactly who you're talking about now, the African kid. Still, I'm not going to go back and try to tape it. I'm actually more so I'm curious about this Perro versus Thompson too as well. So yeah, I think there's just like some different plays here that are really good. Like I think there are some really good plays, real possibility plays. I think MMA has a few different plays. Phil Rowe has been bet all the way to a favorite in UFC and MMA, which I think he wins, but he's going to lose round one at a pretty high clip. Phil Rowe is a round one loser, except for there was one fight I forgot that I thought he did pretty good in the first round, but I don't remember exactly which one. But Phil Rowe, pretty confident he's going to lose round one. Pretty confident he's going to either finish him round three or he's going to win, no doubt, strongly round three. So that comes down to that swing round two. So maybe we'll get a good-ass live line on Phil Rowe. That would be awesome, get a good live line on Phil Rowe. One more other thought too, and read about UFC is I think David Onama, I think the athleticism, the toughness, I think just the overall grit. I think I don't know, man, what it is about Steve Garcia that I love Steve Garcia, but there's just something about this fight that makes me strongly lean to David Onama too as well. There's just something about David Onama that I really like. I think his fight IQ is, I think he has good fight IQ, maybe not great, but good fight IQ. So I think Norman's by devastation. Yeah, I'll just give you a preview on my tape right now. I also have Norman. I don't know exactly if I have Norman by finish or if I have Norman by decision. I don't think it's as cut and dry as everyone thinking Devin gets finished by Norman that right. I think Norman's good enough to box Devin up and win minimum 7 clear rounds of 5, maybe having a knockdown in there. I think Devin coming up to 147 is going to do good for his legs and is going to do good for his conditioning, his chin. One thing, shout out to Chilltown. Shout out our boy TJ, Chilltown Boxing. He did say in all his time, and I trust him when he talks about fighting. He's one of those dudes that when he talks about fighting, I listen. Chilltown said himself, he said, the jump from 140 pounds to 147 pounds is one of the hardest jumps that he has seen in his time as a fan of watching boxing. And I really trust what TJ says when he says something like that. When he says something like that, I actually listen. I listen to someone that's been watching boxing probably longer than I've been alive. He's not that old. But he's been watching boxing forever, right? And he says a bunch of great shit. Yeah, TJ is like, bro, as you know, bro, TJ is beyond sharp cat, right? So Yeah, TJ said that in a live stream one time, and it just sticks out to me. He says the jump from 140 to 147 pounds is big. And I don't think Jose Ramirez was the guy to kind of get him, because I think that fight against Jose Ramirez was contested at 143, right? There was a catch weight of like 143, 144. And Jose Ramirez isn't the guy you want as your. I don't think Brian Norman is the guy you want as your true introduction to 147 pounds. That's a hard fucking jump, because you've seen fight over fight with Brian Norman here. In my notes, one second. I'm just going to give out a quick little preview. Just a quick preview. Brian Norman, fight over fight improvements you see here from Cuevas. When you see with Cuevas here, he loves to drop his guard hand when throwing his lead left hook, and he exits in straight lines. Then he continues to enter irresponsibly against Cuevas in the first round. After round 3, he starts exiting more sharp, starts keeping a high guard hand, and he starts probing with the right hand before entering. Then you jump to his next fight, and he guard hand glued to his chin, and every single entrance he's coming in, he's setting up every single entrance, biting, feinting, level changing, dip knee, level change. I just love how Brian Norman has improved fight over fight, and he's only 25, 26 years old. Oligos, my brother, good to see you, brother. We've just been trying to kind of chopping it up, man. I'm kind of getting to the flow of it. Gave an apology for not dropping as much, content, but like I said, I actually gave out the list of all the fights I will be previewing. Make sure you hold me to this list, Oligos. You're my boy. I know you be hitting me up. So the list of preview and predictions that I have dropping that I will drop, I'm sticking to myself to this too as well. Tiger Johnson versus Nick Flaz, Ortiz Lubin, Gary Antoine Russell, Hiroka, Norman Haney. Already have Norman Haney tape done, so I will be dropping that. I'm actually going to do it like the Lester Mobility. I'm actually dropping that this weekend, so I'll be getting that dropped way early, in which I still think Lester Mobility was my best ever prediction. So maybe dropping them early is the key, maybe because I haven't seen the lines. I'm not looking at lines. I'm just simply doing it. Bam Puma, Mason versus Noakes, Ben Ayard, which I have a strong lean already versus Ben Ayard before I even smashed the tape. Beatrice Ferreira, Alif near Tehran. Oh, I love this fight. Nakano versus Alim Reese Alim, I'm sorry. Sky Nicholson versus Avila. Inoue Picasso, Nakatani Reyes. Shout out my boy Kiza. I'm going to be doing Tension versus Inoue too as well. There's going to be one more fight too, because they've been dropping a bunch of Japanese announcements too as well. And I love Japanese boxing more than any other boxing. My dog's name's Inoue. The next dog that I'm going to be getting, which is hilarious, I'll probably be naming him Finito, after Finito Lopez. So have my two ever favorite boxers of all time, Inoue and Finito. But yeah, bro, I've been MIA, but that's just because, life. I mean, I've been grinding outside of work or outside of YouTube and tape. And you guys know I love dropping the tape. I love dropping YouTube and predictions. But dude, I was taping every single week consistently, 20 hours to 25 hours a week. Then you go in and add in the filming, which my videos are nothing fancy, but it takes me over an hour to an hour and a half just to film them with my edits and my stutters. As you guys know, I'm not the most fluent when I speak, and I stutter and I stop all the time. Fun fact, I was in speech classes for a hot minute. So growing up. So it's just kind of funny how that works out. So yeah, but so it's just a lot of things going on, but I'm going to be hitting it hot and heavy in November. I will be dropping a shitload of predictions. I'm feeling good about it. I've already been cracking a hell of a lot of tape, getting ahead on the tape, which is something I haven't done before. I'm usually a week by week kind of guy. Been getting ahead on the tape, so I'm pretty good with that. Yeah, Inoue is a good name, man, and it matches. If you've seen my dog, man, he's a little dude. He unfortunately comes from a dog fighting background, and he's a little ass dude. So I thought the name was kind of perfect because he's a little dog. He's really good with humans. He's really bad with dogs. But I love him, man. He's my boy. So yeah, I just find myself always just trying to work on the fluency of how we speak is something too as well. And I've noticed that when I'm doing these lives, is why I like doing lives, is it feels like it kind of helps me posture for my actual videos that I do. Yeah, I do actually too. Oligos do is I do focus on my own how I sound too much. I overthink it because in the end of the day, all people want is the analysis. No one gives a shit if you stutter a word or mess up a name. In the end of the day, they know what you're talking about. Boxing fans know what you're talking about. Doesn't matter if you mix up a left and a right. They understand when you're really speaking about it. So that's real. I appreciate you always. But we have a great schedule, bro. No, November and December are kicking for boxing, guys. Like, even the fights I'm not going to break down are just kicking. We are smoking for boxing, bro. These fights that they announced in Japan are absolutely insane, man. They just announced too as well for March, which sucks, but I'm going to it because it's here in Phoenix. Sugar versus Navarrete, dog. Sugar versus Navarrete. How is Navarrete even going to make 130? Like, he's too small for 135, I think, consistently. He's too big. He's too lazy for 130 consistently. Bro, hey, I appreciate you, Nathan. Thank you, brother. I hope you guys keep tuning into the content. You know, I'm excited. I hope you guys like all the content because November, I'm going to be really focused. Like, I really feel like the tape that I watch without any betting angles is the most focused tape that you get when you're only watching because you just want to watch some boxing that night, man. And that's really kind of how it started with Brian Norman versus Devin Haney. I saw a bunch of discourse on Twitter, a bunch of people going back and forth about Devin Haney versus Brian Norman. So I wanted to have an educated opinion on it before I jumped in the comments, which I haven't even yet. And I wanted to go watch some tape. And then there is a grip of tape on both of those fighters. That is the best thing about Norman and Haney is if you are complaining about not finding tape on that, you're just not searching in the right places, which no one has. There is so much tape on both fighters, man. And again, I'm just incredibly impressed with fight over fight, how Brian Norman has improved. If you guys are in the video or if you guys haven't dropped a like, please drop a like. If you are in here and haven't dropped a comment, let me know what you guys are thinking. What up? Happy Halloween, everybody. Hope you guys are having a great time here. I've got to text the homie, mate. Got to text the homie. I just realized. My bad, y'all. All right, bang. All right, y'all. But yeah, so we got some work, man. I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate y'all in the chat. Appreciate you guys rocking with me always. It's gonna be what fight are you guys? Let's just talk about. I want to ask you guys, what fight are you guys most excited for coming up for the rest of the year? What is the one fight that you have to circle on your calendar that you are pinpointing that you're just ready for that scrap? That you cannot miss this fight. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Doesn't matter who it is. For me, it's Nakano versus Reese Aleem. I think it's just such an underrated scrap. Even though that's such a you know, not layman's answer, hardcore answer. Reese Aleem Nakano really intrigues me. I love Bam Puma. I love Bam Puma. Honestly, Gary Anton Rosa, Andy Hiroka may be my most anticipated fight here. Devin Booker might hit a triple double. What? Devin Booker, Norman Haney, that's your most anticipated fight. Boxing fan fire. Devin Booker might hit a triple double. I actually, I'm not going to lie. Don't tell me, Nate. Don't tell me. I don't want to know because I don't like looking at my NBA bets. I'm superstitious about them when I'm on a live. Don't tell me. I have a specific player to get 10 assists, not in that game. So I'm going to go be looking. Big Steve. Hi, Zaddy. Hi, Big Steve. Hey, y'all, if you guys aren't, do me a solid. My boy, Big Steve. If you like MMA or you like MMA betting, my boy, Big Steve, man. I'm not just saying this, bro. Sharp motherfucker. I love listening to his Australian accent in the morning. Go check out Big Brain MMA podcast. Really sharp dude. Love listening to him talk. He always comes with logic. He's always cracking tape. He's a full-time gambler. He's at no AI tickets, no fake tickets over here, y'all. A real full-time gambler. He does it for a living, man. Love his MMA work. If you guys have a chance, go check out Big Brain MMA podcast. My boy, Big Steve on Twitter. Great dude. He has a very dry ass sense of humor, which I absolutely love personally. His sense of humor always gets me going. JDM versus Islam and Mason versus Noakes. You're two most excited. JDM versus Islam. Kiza, you know we're on the same page. Big Steve, what are your thoughts on JDM versus Islam? I think JDM is going to box his ears off. I think he's going to box him to pieces, anti-wrestle him to pieces. If Islam does get takedowns, I think he's going to get up. His get-up game is so nice. I'm a big fan of JDM everywhere from his anti-grappling all the way to his striking. Big fan of JDM. You're more the MMA guy, Big Steve. What are your thoughts on JDM Islam? Mason versus Noakes is underrated fights. Only people, at least American fans, I don't think they understand how good Sam Noakes is, how tough Sam Noakes is, how gritty Sam Noakes is. And Mason has been dropped by cab drivers. Let's just leave it at that. I understand that there's going to be a big thing. This is one thing that I don't think American boxing fans like to admit, but there's a big race component and element that when it comes to a lot of fights, and I'll admit it, there's a big race components and elements when it comes to American boxers. And we all know, without getting too far into it, we all know how that kind of goes. And I think people are really sleeping on Sam Noakes in this case. And I think they're going to find out really quickly in the first 3 or 4 rounds that Sam Noakes is there to fight. I still favor early on Abdullah Mason to win that fight, but I think Sam Noakes is going to bring on a good scrap, y'all. Good scrap. Man, every single one of these fights is good. I think Ortiz Lubin's a good scrap for at least 8 rounds. I think Lubin may get drowned in the last 4 rounds specifically. Gary Antoine Rosa Hiroka may be my most underrated fight of the year. Gary Antoine Russell versus Hiroka. Antoine Russell, very high ring IQ, very high fight IQ. I believe he's a Harvard. I know he's Ivy League student in general, so I know he's just an educated cat in general, but he fights like it. He fights like an educated cat. And Hiroka, man, does not get the flowers he deserves. Does not get the flowers he deserves. He's a boxer puncher. I consider him a straight up boxer puncher. He can box kind of doing it all, even though he's not great anywhere, but he can bang too as well. So I like Hiroka versus Gary Antoine Russell. I think that's a super underrated boxing match too as well. So yeah, man. But we're at about 40 minutes here for you, specifically here. What y'all want to chop it up about here before I jump off? I'm going to go take Inoue out here on a walk here soon. This man's licking himself, paws on my bed, fucking getting my clean sheets all gross. What are you doing, champ? What are you doing? Inoue, what are you doing, champ? What's up? Come say what's up to the people. Inoue, what up? Come here. Come here. Come here. What's up, y'all? This is my guy. Hey, what's up, champ? Say what up, Inoue. All right. Now that's enough. I get off. I don't have a kid, so that's my kid right there. That's my little guy. I'm gonna go take him on a walk. It's gonna be cool. I just realized it's Halloween night, y'all. Holy shit. It's gonna be nice walking him. It's kind of late now. It's gonna be like 8:10, 8:20. So I don't think a bunch of people. Thank you, boxing fan. Yeah, I love him to death, man. I went through a really strange point in my life a few years ago where I definitely needed something to keep my mind on track and to keep me we've talked about it a little bit, but I need to keep myself more responsible. So I got a dog, and it was kind of hilarious that it's exactly what I needed. I needed some discipline in my life. I needed a little bit of structure, and quite frankly, I just needed some companionship. So I love having my pup, man. He's my guy. And I know dogs that lead you into your 30s are like very formidable for young men. So this is going to be my dog that's going to be very formidable leading me into my 30s. So it's going to be sick having Inoue. And he was sick. I was looking on the Humane Society, and I would always scroll past, and then a few months went by, and then I saw a euthanization list. And I was like, what the fuck? And then he was on the euthanization list. And I was like, all right, I'll see you. I'll see you later. And I literally asked my boss, I was like, can I go grab this dog? And I literally went and grabbed the dog. And I couldn't believe that no one grabbed him because he's a sweet boy, cute boy. He has issues with other dogs, but he's a we'll figure that out, man. So, but yeah, man. So I love having a pup, man. It was sick. Had to name him after a boxer, oddly enough, because I was every dog I've ever had, I named after an athlete. Have a dog named Barkley after Charles Barkley, Oscar after Oscar De La Hoya, Bledsoe after Eric Bledsoe, not Drew Bledsoe. Sorry about that, boxing fan, but Eric Bledsoe. And then I got this fool Inoue after Naoya Inoue. So always had dogs named after some type of athlete. So I've always loved that shit. Two as well. Michaela Meyer, man. Michaela Meyer put on a hell of a performance. Just to give out a quick little recap of that, I was really impressed by her performance. A lot of volume, a lot of pace, a lot of pressure. She was on that ass. I was surprised that I thought at some point she could have gotten a stoppage out of there if she was just a little bit heavier handed. I do want to say, I don't forget who I told. I did say I think Michaela Meyer was going to bully Spencer around the ring, even though there was a quote unquote size disadvantage. And I'm pretty proud of that call because that's what she did. She literally pushed her into a corner and just pitbulled her and bullied her. Michaela Meyer, man, she's awesome. She's awesome, man. If everybody fought like her, we would have a lot more boxing fans on this earth. I'm just saying that because she comes to fight. She's not scared of anyone. She's willing to scrap. she's awesome, man. I have nothing but heaps of praise for her. I thought Wilkins Matthew, however that commentator was saying it, Wilkins Matthew. I'm just going to say it Matthew. I thought he looked really good for the first 8 rounds. I'm not upset with him having a gas tank issue. That's his first 10 rounder. And I think he pushed through very well. And I thought he even had some sharp punches in rounds 9 and 10 to where it wasn't as bad as some people online were making it seem like. I thought it's exactly what he needed to learn too. I thought Finn is a good level of competition, a great step up, and someone to bring him through, to drag him through a 10 rounder. And the thing about Matthew is he didn't gas out, just gassing out, gassed out going through the gears and trying to get a finish in round 7, I believe it was. So I thought that was an extremely impressive performance. I don't think anyone watched the Unal performance because I think it cut out for everybody. There was one more fight yesterday that I wanted to talk about performance-wise. I missed the Christopher fight because I went to I missed the Christopher fight yesterday because I was not available for that one. And yeah. So those are the fights covering those in Canada specifically here. There was one fight on the Pero Thompson fight too as well. One fight on that undercard that I wanted to talk about. Give me 1 second here. Pat Brown. Pat Brown returns. Pat Brown, man. Dude's a hammer. I'm impressed with Pat Brown, dude. I like Pat Brown. You can't find any tape on Travius Ingram. I tried 12-0 dude fighting Yoelvis Gomez. And I see people betting on Yoelvis Gomez, and I see people blindly betting on Antavius Ingram. And if they're betting on Antavius Ingram, I think they're blindly betting because I couldn't find any tape on the guy. And I think I'm pretty good at finding tape. You know, I went through Daily Motion, okay, YouTube, Paint. I'll go through Bing. I'd be searching on Bing, y'all, if I can't find tape. And I couldn't find anything. Y'all find anything on Antravius Ingram besides just small clips and highlights and stuff you can find on Instagram? That boy, Nishant Dev, too, as well, comes back. He's going to get an early stoppage. Juan Campos, no bueno. No bueno. You can find one of his early, domestic fights on YouTube. Go watch it. It's kind of hilarious. So, Pat Brown tomorrow, dude. Pat Brown's good, man. I think Pat Brown's really good. He's a thumper, good boxer, good movement. Love his feet. Just complete package, in my opinion. Complete package. One of those dudes. So, yeah, man. We got about 45 minutes on this bad boy here. I'm going to let y'all run it out for the last 5 minutes, and then I'm going to get my dog on a walk because he's ready to go. Any last closing thoughts, comments, things of that nature here for you? I'll probably do a concussion discussion tomorrow. I always like to do a Saturday morning concussion discussion. Usually is a pretty nice turnout. Depending on what time did the fight start. Let me go see what time the fight start for Parker Brown. Usually they'll start for me around midday, like 11 to 12, something of that nature. Damn, Sam Houston State's getting their ass kicked by La Tech too as well. Love a little college football. My older brother actually played at Sam Houston, so I always like to keep up with them bad boys. What time do these fights start? According to my clock, Liam Cameron, Troy Jones doesn't start till midday. Wow, 1:45 p.m. Do you guys have any reads on the Ezra versus, before I go, do you guys have any reads on the Billy Denise versus Ezra fight? I'm curious. Is it worth me taping? That's the question I should say. Because I have probably enough time to take probably 3 fighters before bed tonight, get at least anywhere from 2 to 3 fights before bed. Or 2 to 3 fights each fighter. Is it worth it for me to take my time to tape Ezra versus Billy Denise? Or is there a clear-cut read in that fight that I don't even have to tape it, don't even have to waste my time? Because if not, I'd rather do a deeper dive if I could on Yoelvis Gomez and Ingram. I need to sharpen up too as well on Pero because I did a lot of tape on Jordan Thompson. Like I said, Kiza, I think if you're taking a dog stab on Jordan Thompson, I think it's a possibility, but the issue is his inside fighting is very much to be desired. His inside fighting is very, very much to be desired. So that's just something to keep in. That's just something to keep in note. Something to keep in note. So, hey, by the way, did you guys go out for Halloween tonight? Just now we're talking Halloween. Did you guys go out for Halloween? If so, what did you wear? I'm curious. I was going to do so. All right, y'all. I was going to go. I'll tell you guys right now. This is what I was going to go as. So I got long hair in my I could put it in a ponytail, but I don't have a ponytail on me. So I got long hair and crazy facial hair right now that I need to shave, right? I was going to do this. I was looking for a robe and sunglasses, and I was gonna do Leo from One Battle After Another because I thought that was hilarious. If I put in a ponytail, looks pretty similar. Here, I'll swipe for the photo. Come on now, with the rope and the beanie and the sunglasses. Come on, champ. So that's what I was gonna do. And bro, I go to the store. I can't find a freaking rope. A robe. I'm sorry. I couldn't find a robe to save my life. I couldn't find a robe to save my life. So then I got the idea I'm going to be Roger Federer. So I find the headband, the tennis racket, all that BS, right? And all of that stuff, I go and ring it up. And man, I'm a cheap ass, bro. Call me whatever you want, man. I'm a money hoarder and a cheap ass. I rang it up. That shit was like 98 bucks. I was like, nah, bro. I'm not spending 98 bucks for a Halloween costume that no one's going to remember. I don't even like going out like that, man. So I legit was like, you know what? I'm going to go home. I'm going to walk my dog. I'm going to go. I bought him some balls to play fetch with. We're going to go toss the rock, champ, and we're going to have a good night that way. So, but y'all, I appreciate you guys rocking with me here for you. I see some people have slowly logged off, so I appreciate you guys rocking with me for the time you guys did. I will most likely do another concussion discussion tomorrow. Smart man, boxing fan. I don't go out. I also really don't go out either, too, as well. Home is where the heart is. I appreciate you guys always. I appreciate your guys' time. Genuinely. Appreciate you guys just staying on, rocking with me. You know, the likes, all the good stuff. Really just the conversation, because it's nice to have like-minded people that just like to chop it up. So, as always, y'all, it's love, it's peace, it's chicken grease. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Later.